Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
Welcome. This is the SportsTrapp Podcast, and my name is John Trapp. And as always, apparently we got a brand new special guest host, El Chico Malo. Welcome to the show, baby. I think.
Hola, putos.
I can't even take him serious right now. This show, we're going to get a little bit into this fantasy football that we just happened to draft. SportsTrapp Podcast fantasy football season starts today, actually tomorrow, Thursday, first game of the season. We're going to get a little bit into what our picks were and how we think we've already won the league. So stay tuned for that. But we got to get into a little Texans football. Jesus Christ, did we have to lose Jadeveon Clowney the way we had to lose him? And also, if you feel a little down about that, always the Astros with the little pick-me-up with Justin Verlander had a big no-no, third of his career.
Let me know when we start talking about the Texans. I don't associate with losers.
Woo! And also, we're going to introduce something now for the first time for the inaugural season with the SportsTrapp Podcast, and we're going to pick our top five. Stay tuned and see who we got. For sure, locks, and we're going to put our records head-to-head. Me and Christopher Rodriguez are. We'll see what El Chico Malo has to say about that.
Do you know where Chris is? I haven't seen him, man. I don't.
Yeah,
where's he at?
I don't know, man. We'll see where.
Well, you should be glad that you have somebody sitting in the seat next to you that's actually a genius and actually knows what the fuck he's talking about.
Oh, big words. El Chico Malo already having his namesake. El Chico Malo, Malo. And we can't forget this college football season has started. Man, Jalen Hurts putting on a show. Didn't he just transfer from Alabama? Did he just take over for OU?
I put on a show for most of your wives. They call me Jalen Hurts too, but for different reasons.
Oh, bad words from Big Bad Man. All right, so El Chico Malo, man, what did you think about your draft pick? Because right here I'm seeing a little Ezekiel Elliott, a.k.a. $90 million man, a.k.a. just signed the biggest running back contract of all time, fresh off the plane in the Dallas Jerry world. Dallas Cowboys about to start off something nice, something special maybe. But what do you think about your first pick, Ezekiel Elliott?
Listen, all you scumbags here, you guys don't understand that this draft is everything. This draft is everything. So when I draft, I don't just draft players. I draft people that change the game. And that's what Ezekiel Elliott is. He's a game changer.
What made you confident he was going to sign?
Because as dumb ass as Jerry Jones is, he knows the only way he could ever win the Super Bowl is if you give the ball and you feed the Zeke.
That boy got fed some dollars. What pick did you get him in?
Number 3.
Third pick of the draft, got Ezekiel Elliott. What pick did you draft, Qua? I mean, what number?
Oh, I was 8.
Oh, snap. And with their 8 pick, you got James Conner, a.k.a. man taking over for Le'Veon Bell,
Yeah.
a.k.a. Antonio Brown's old team.
Why don't you you should have just drafted tampons if you're going to draft that.
So I'm guessing El Chico Malo doesn't like that pick too much. But James Conner, man, you don't have somebody running up the middle and catching the balls out the backfield. He did pretty good last year for Le'Veon Bell as his replacement. So I don't think that's a bad pick. You did have the number 8 pick in the draft, so you really had slim pickings at that point. But
It's true.
Man, I had to get the truth. I was number 5, and I had to go with Le'Veon Bell. I had to go. See, I think Le'Veon Bell's the worst case scenario when it comes to somebody trying to get money, trying to get the money bags, trying to get fed as a running back. He had to sit out a whole year, but Ezekiel, of course, is the best situation, best case scenario. So, look, man, Le'Veon Bell got fresh legs, had a year off. I don't know, is it going to be more rusty or, fresh pair of legs taking over again, keeping him young?
What is your name?
John Trapp.
John Trapp.
Yeah.
What's your team name?
Oh, Colin. Trapping it.
Colin?
Yeah.
Well, you look like the type that's on their knees anyways. And from this point, it looks like you like to lose a lot too. So you picked Jadavian Bell, huh?
Jadavian Bell.
What? Who?
Jadavian Bell.
Exactly. Because that's exactly what he's going to do for John. Diddly squat shit. Nobody's going to even give a rat's ass about Bell anyways because he's probably going to get hurt the first time he goes out there. That's a big risk, John. Looks like you like to risk a lot.
Well, when he played, he was top 3 running back all those last, 3 seasons?
And how long ago was that?
4 years ago? Well, from 4 years ago, yeah.
And what has he done since?
Well, nothing because he hadn't played.
Right.
So do you think he's really going to get injured because he had such a long time off? He was in training camp this time.
Yeah, he was in training camp. But
Ezekiel wasn't. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there.
Ezekiel has been playing football and has had contact. This man has been basically sitting on the couch, collecting his paychecks, not doing shit.
Actually, no. He remember? He sat out.
He still got a paycheck.
On what?
He still got money.
Well, he got robbed.
Well, then he fits right in with you then.
All right, so let's go down. El Chico, since you're so great at your picks, right?
I'm the one holding the belt, right?
Ah, man, cut that little bitty Band-Aid that you call a belt and put a little shiny quarters on it and made it your own little thing.
I love when people who have nothing but pennies in their pockets talk to me about quarters.
All right, so honestly, though, when you look at your draft and see...
what was my grade in my draft?
So Yahoo Fantasy, the league that we play with, or the app that we play with, graded you A-.
They're racist. Should have been an A+. It's because I wear a mask.
They actually gave what's your team name? Broke Homie Quan.
Yeah.
Broke Homie Quan an A- too.
Suck it, bitches.
All right. So you got Ezekiel, number 1. In the second round, you got Devontae Adams, wide receiver out of Green Bay. Damian Williams, man taking over for the none other than Kareem Hunt of the Kansas City Royals last year. And the most of the top 5, the one that scratches my head the most is going to be Robert Woods in round 4 and O.J. Howard rounding out the top 5. So what you're thinking about behind Robert Woods when he wasn't even the number 2 wide receiver out of the Rams offense last year?
You sure about that?
Yeah. Brandon Cook, Cooper Kupp. I mean, I'm just saying, throwing these
Kupp
names.
didn't even play last year.
No, he did. He did. He got injured.
He got injured.
Yeah, but he's still putting up bigger numbers, and you have those same people coming back.
Robert Woods has been one of the most consistent wide receivers, and why everyone's jumping on Cook's ass, and why everyone's talking about if Gurley's going to play with his broke-ass knees, the whole point is this. Robert Woods is going to be the man. He is going to finish as a top 5 wide receiver in this year's fantasy football. Mark my words.
Wow.
Top 5.
Wow, top 5.
Wow.
Higher than Antonio Brown?
Antonio Brown is lucky if he even gets to see a game.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Hey, just a break from fantasy real quick. Did you see what he put up on social media?
I will say that I like his style. For somebody who wants to go against the grain and go against authority, I love it.
I think I'm getting the consistency here of you like villains and villainy.
I love it. I love being a villain when you're still getting paid. And that's the issue here. He may not be getting paid much longer.
Well, so what happened was he essentially got fined by Mike Madoff, the GM of the Oakland Raiders, and Mike Madoff went down this list of him missing out on walkthroughs and practice time and all this stuff, and it ended up being like what, $35,000 he got fined or something like that.
It was 54.
$54,000.
Yeah. So he already had 40,000 even before missing that last practice.
So it's 40,000 plus 54.
No.
Oh,
It was 40 plus. It was like 13 and some change.
Okay.
So they in the letter. So in the picture that he posted was showing the letter.
Right.
And
The letter that got sent to him
yeah.
by Mike Madoff,
Yeah.
and he posted it for everybody to see.
Yep.
And he said basically, when your own team hates you, it's just like, I don't know, like maybe you feel something in common with Antonio Brown.
Listen, at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure that the Oakland Raiders are going to put up with Antonio Brown's antics, or I like to say, being a bad guy. But the point being is this. How long will Gruden take this? Now, we all know that at the end of the day that Mr. AB is a game changer. He went kind of low on the fantasy football, too, because he is considered a chance right now.
Right.
But when he does have the ball, he does special things. So I'm just wondering, how long will it take for Gruden to get tired of his antics?
And to just basically say, you know what? It's not worth it anymore.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking about your top five, and you named Robert Woods into your top five, right? So I got Antonio Brown, right? And I started thinking, who else is my top five? And I'm going to say right there, Mike Evans. I even wanted to go to say Julio Jones, but then I remembered he's in the holdout too. So what's going to happen with Julio Jones?
He'll play.
So he's suiting up. He hasn't. He sat out the whole time.
He'll play.
Mike Thomas and let's see, Amari Cooper. All those, you think that Juju Smith-Schuster? You think that Robert Woods gonna break that list? That's your number one wide receiver. I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there like that. Then you got your quarterback Carson Wentz. If he can stay healthy, I mean, you're talking about Le'Veon Bell. Give me Carson Wentz when he finishes the season.
I love how somebody who barely got a B- is talking to this A- right here about what's going to happen. See, it's all about points. It's all about making points. And right now, from all projection of points, you're lucky if you make the playoffs. Trapper bitch.
So, Qual, you got Keelan Allen and Michael Thomas to round up your top wide receivers.
I feel good about them.
Well, number one wide receiver out of the Chargers, Keelan Allen. Number one wide receiver, new highest paid wide receiver in the game, Michael Thomas.
$100 million?
I don't know, man.
You better play like $100 million.
In a PPR, points per reception league, that's valuable right there.
Yep.
Now, James Conner, we'll see. Now you got some tape on him. We'll see how the defenses kind of shift and try to game plan for him. He could have a sophomore slump. So who you have as your backup wide receiver? Backup running back.
My two is Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones.
Then I got Marlon Mack.
See, that's the biggest question mark in the whole top two rounds. I mean, as far as the running back's concerned, I wonder what he was projected. But they came out today and said that Aaron Rodgers has full autonomy with his audibles on the offense. And for somebody, here's my thing about Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers. For somebody to have basically all the offense built around him, all the coaches game planning with him as a quarterback, and he's a great quarterback, if not the best in the game as far as talent's concerned, right? It just seems like this whole time it hasn't been his show. So this year's his show? I don't believe that to be true. I believe that whoever's in charge has always tried to put Aaron Rodgers in the best position for his talents to show. And it's always been a show. So you can't sit there and tell me, oh, this is a year for Aaron Rodgers because now he has the ability to call audibles whenever he wanted to. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't. It's not going to.
So has he not had that ability before? Is that?
From what I could tell, he's always had that ability.
Right.
You know, remember last year? There's something that came out that said that he ignored a play call. The coach called the play. He completely ignored it. Chose his own play.
Yeah.
I think he still scored a touchdown. But I'm just saying, like, oh well. I mean, like, it's not like it's something new is going to happen. And when I look at Aaron Jones as being a running back, unless he's catching it out the backfield, he's not a top tier running back. And name me what running back that Aaron Rodgers has produced that's top 5.
Well, John,
ever.
I don't even want to give you a human name. You don't deserve it. Anyways, I think he was 3rd, Aaron Jones, as far as yards per contact. So before he got hurt, he actually was having a pretty good season.
Okay.
So,
I am not saying that he doesn't have the talent. And I honestly don't think that the talent isn't the necessarily name of the game when it comes to Aaron Jones. What I'm saying is within Aaron Rodgers' play calling and his scheme and his playbook, Aaron Jones won't be that big of a factor because Aaron Rodgers doesn't call Aaron Jones' number. Aaron Rodgers calls Aaron Rodgers' number each and every time. So when I look at who would I rather take, Aaron Jones or your pick, Devontae Adams? Devontae Adams each and every time, even though they might end up having the same amount of touches.
Have they fixed that offensive line?
Have they?
He took a lot of hits last year. He's been taking a lot of hits for a lot of years.
Right.
He's going to have to start checking down a lot more.
When he starts doing that, let me know. And then I'll give you the credit, benefit of the doubt for Aaron Jones. I'm not saying that's a bad pick. It's just the question mark's out there. That's what my point is.
I just want you to know he's pretty much saying that your pick sucked.
I hear him.
No,
Listen,
he's got Yahoo, and y'all are so big on Yahoo. It's A-. He's got an A- grade.
I just want you to know I don't think your picks suck. I just think you suck.
I knew that was coming.
Now, when I'm looking at his picks, like to round up the top, the other players again, Michael Thomas, out of New Orleans, banging. I mean, top probably could be number 1 wide receiver in the league. Keenan Allen, top 5 possibility. Tyler Boyd, he's going to be good because AJ Green's out for at least 6 weeks, they said, and maybe the steal of this whole draft apparently could be Josh Gordon out of New England. That being, of course, the biggest gamble too, because he of all his ability to stay off the weed, and then your quarterback Ben Roethlisberger, man.
Big Ben is tried and true for me, man.
He is.
Knock him if you want, but he was like how Matt Stafford was for a long time, and Matt Stafford kind of fell off. But he was never the best quarterback, but in fantasy, man, he put up.
But
numbers.
when is he over the hill? You know what I mean? Like when is he too old? But don't get me wrong. Aaron Rodgers is 36.
Juju's a big part of that.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
If he didn't have receivers that I was confident with, but I think, man, Juju, like same thing with the whole what you say about James Conner. Could he have that slump? And I don't know, man. Juju, to me, I think is one of the most talented wide receivers.
We'll see, but I mean, AB being out of that game plan that's a whole new level. I mean, AB is somebody that would take away the complete half of the field, who in my opinion allowed for Juju to get good looks and allowed for James Conner to get his spacing.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we'll see. I mean, hey, you're getting points through the air. I mean, excuse me, through land or air by Ben Roethlisberger. So the Steelers are a big part of your situation here. So I'm gonna say I don't want to toot my own horn here, but the Colin Kaepernicks, they're looking pretty good, man. Listen, if I wasn't me and I looked at what I had, Le'Veon Bell, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Le'Veon Bell, top 3 running back, 3 out of the past 4 years. Tyreek Hill, number 1 wide receiver. Kelce, I think he was number 2, depending. I don't remember. Excuse me.
Kittle?
No, the Eagles guy. I think he was number 1.
So let me get this straight. You had me come on this show so we can talk about your losing ass squad.
I'm just saying, like, fantasy wise.
No.
That squad
for
is
you.
looking...
For you, it literally is a fantasy that you're going to be winning anything this year in fantasy football. That's what a fantasy is. Your fantasy.
Man, what y'all are going on projections?
No. I'm going on pure instinct, pure raw talent, genius, evil genius. I'm the champion. I'm going to be the champion. Matter of fact, after I win this, put this on record for your stupid show. I don't want this puto here ever to be on our fantasy football ever again. We can't associate with losers. Well, I haven't decided if you're a loser or not. I know you fucking suck, but I don't know if you're a loser yet.
Okay, let me ask you this. Besides yours, when you look at all the teams, who do you think had the best draft? And why?
Besides me?
Besides you. And you can't say me either.
I would never say you because then I'd be lying. And I don't lie. I just do bad things. Let's see. Honestly,
John, I like your team. Thielen gets a good bump too, man. You see Stephon Diggs has a hamstring problem and
Hey, I'll take it.
He didn't suit up for practice.
He doesn't need Diggs anyways.
He doesn't.
let me tell you something. The person to me who even has a fighting chance, the person to me that I feel like has a team that no one's even paying attention to, that might give me a run for my money, and that's the boys' number 1 fan.
Yeah, I like that draft pick too. So he got Christian McCaffrey number 1, number 2 with the 17th pick. He got Todd Gurley. Now, why that is so important is because Todd Gurley is top 5 at least the past 2 years, and for him to last year some of them picked him number 1 overall. I mean, at a very high rate, and unfortunately he got a little injured towards the end, so. He got him at number 17. Amari Cooper, who blew up at the second half of the year. Mark Ingram, who's going to have his opportunity to shine after he's essentially no longer handcuffed with Alvin Kamara, and he's going to be in a run-heavy Baltimore Ravens team. And, dude, Aaron Rodgers, that top 5 right there is nasty.
He even has Lindsey as a
running back. Yeah, Philip Lindsay.
I think the biggest surprise here is that a lot of people are automatically assuming that the Browns are going to go to the Super Bowl if you're in Cleveland. And a lot of people think Baker Mayfield is going to have this incredible season because he has Odell Beckham. But I think a sleeper there, too, is Mr. Landry.
Yeah.
Because teams are going to double team Beckham. It's only natural, and Landry's going to be open. That man can definitely put up some big numbers.
He did it by himself as the number 1 wide receiver last year.
And even if you don't run Gurley the whole time, even if you just run him at the 15-yard line or at the end zone, I mean, he could easily get touchdowns easily. Todd Gurley, just give him the ball right then and there and save him for the playoffs.
Yeah. I think that the one problem he's going to face is what happens if Todd Gurley isn't what he was. And like the last end of the season on Todd Gurley wasn't just an anomaly. And so it ends up being he is just on bad wheels at this point.
Do touchdowns get you points?
Of course.
Do receptions give you points?
Of course.
Todd Gurley is going to get him points.
Yeah, but you and I both know that Todd Gurley wasn't Todd Gurley at the end of the season.
So why is it's easy for you to criticize Todd Gurley and be so, question him?
Right.
But you picked Bell, who hasn't played in 20,000 years, as your number one pick.
Hold on.
Explain that to me on the Jets.
Okay, it's like you have tires on it, or tread on the tires, right? Todd Gurley gets his money, tread starts wearing down. Le'Veon Bell got his money too, just not as much, but he got money too, but he didn't even have to ride on those tires.
Jets have a great offensive line.
They boasted their offensive line. They boasted their defense.
They have a great overall offense compared to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What does that have to do with Todd Gurley?
Exactly.
Oh, you talking about Le'Veon Bell?
Exactly.
Okay. That I'm not saying that.
You're not saying anything. That's what you're saying. You're not saying dilly shit. Because here's the thing. At the end of the day, John's team sucks. They're going to lose. I wouldn't be surprised if they win more than 5 games. That's just the facts. Le'Veon Bell, out the gate, I guarantee it, pulled hamstring. You'll have hamstring issues all year long. But good thing you have his cuff, though. You have Ty Montgomery.
Yeah,
that's what's going to save you, buddy.
I mean, that's just worst case scenario with Ty Montgomery. But he has the ability to catch out the backfield. He played as a wide receiver as well in the Green Bay system. So, hey, I'll take it. But, like I said, if you depend so much on one player and that player doesn't end up doing anything through injuries or whatnot, then your team falls apart. And that's the one thing I see about the boys other than McCaffrey. McCaffrey is the only surefire and Aaron Rodgers. Other than that, everything could be question marks.
Are you jealous of his team because it's better than yours? Is what it sounds like.
No, I'm just breaking down when I look at his team and I'm breaking down when I look at your team. I mean, you really just got one surefire, and that's Ezekiel Elliott. You picked Robert Woods way too high when he was a third in the wide receiver. You could have picked a better wide receiver in your draft. Robert Woods probably would have went at least in the 6th round. Nobody was even thinking about him but you. O.J. Howard is a sleeper, maybe, and you could have picked him up in the 10th or 12th. James White, you picked him up in the 7th. You could have picked him up in the 19th. All right. See, you get what I'm saying? So let's break down your team.
Let's put it this way. My team is so good and is so great and is projected to score the most points and, most importantly, the most wins that John can't stand it. And his little itty-bitty eyes, he sits there with jealousy. He can't even look me in the face right now. And it's not because of this sexy-ass mask. It's because he knows that deep down inside that he'll never be able to beat me. Matter of fact, I think this is the first time I've ever even played you in fantasy football.
Listen.
And you have no idea what you have just stepped into.
Listen, I've never played defense. I've never played defense in the fantasy football. Hey, it's something new. But again, there's not.
Wait a second. You've never played defense in anything in your life.
Yeah, defense is not something. Whenever we play like Madden and stuff like that, but defense has never been my strongest suit. But hey, man, I'll go with it and they'll see what you got.
Listen, I gotta go, and the reasons why I have to go is because basically I'm tired of dealing with and hearing this bullshit. I appreciate you guys inviting me to your puto show, but I gotta go do bad things, like tax that ass and get ready for the upcoming season.
El Chico Malo, everybody. Thanks for coming out.
Putos.
So, basically, El Chico Malo and a few others, we're gonna do this fantasy football, and we're all year long. We're gonna have a lot of shit talking, a lot of guesswork, and going back and forth. Hey, Christopher
Hey, I don't know who-
Rodriguez, thank you for so much for blessing me with your presence.
I don't
did
know who-
not like El
Who
Chico.
invited that
What
motherfucker?
the fuck, dude?
That guy's a son
Where
of a bitch. I don't like him at all,
he
man.
come from?
Yeah, man. He's kind of short too, man. Fuck. What the fuck? What wife lets that man wear a mask?
Thank you.
Jesus Christ.
I guess that wraps up the fantasy football portion
Oh,
of
you
the
guys
show.
got to talk about fantasy football? Fuck. Damn, man. I didn't get to talk about my team. But let's just talk about the fact that the NFL season starts tomorrow. I'm so pumped up and so excited.
Man,
And we got some good
finally,
games.
Jesus.
That's what we live for.
So every time the football first game of the season, I always think about The Rock when he's like, finally.
Oh, man, it's going to be great. And I'm just super pumped up. This is our first year ever that we're doing a fantasy football with podcasts. We got some awesome guys. We look forward to hopefully all of us getting together and watching a few games, maybe even like record some stuff for the podcast. It's just good because I've grown to, John, you and I have been best friends for over 20 years. I think it's the first time we've ever played against each other in fantasy football. And Qual, man, I love you to death, man. Every time I play with you in fantasy football, man, I have the utmost respect for your skill set when it comes to knowledge of just pretty much everything. That's why we call you quality. So, man, I'm pretty pumped up, man. We get to watch some football, man. Finally, we're not talk about basketball anymore because that pretty much felt like it was forever, infinity and beyond. We talk about some real football, college football at that.
This is the SportsTrapp Podcast. Once again, finally, my man, Christopher Rodriguez, has joined the show. Quality control, Mr. Qual, behind the ones and twos. Thank you. Now,
What's up,
down
man?
to the nitty gritty.
Let's get it. Let's
Can
get it
you
going.
please tell me what just happened with
What?
the Houston Texans?
Oh,
in
man.
this-
Why are you gonna get me started already? I just ran into that asshole that was this on the show again. Now you're gonna talk. You want me to get started about being with the Texans and what dipshits they are over there? I mean, this is ridiculous. Listen, if you don't know, Jadeveon Clowney's no longer with the team, and this was a top number 1 draft pick overall. And who's replacing one of our best defensive end / linebackers? Who's replacing him?
I couldn't. No offense, but
Barkevious Mingo.
Barkevious Mingo. And here's the thing. You know that you don't have a GM or you have an organization is not properly ran when you're getting fleeced by everyone. I mean, what the Seattle Seahawks just gave up to get him and what they gave us back. They gave us 2 linebackers who they were going to cut anyways, right? They were basically competing just to make the team. They weren't even like guaranteed starters. And then like not only that, but we give up a 3rd round and we get back a 5th round or a 6th round pick. Ridiculous. Followed
3-time Pro Bowl for a 3rd and a 5th.
And what's so crazy is all these trades took place like within hours amongst each other.
Yeah.
You got Carlos Hyde, of course. I mean, even though the god of coaching, Bill O'Brien, said that Duke Johnson was going to be our starting running back, that he was going to be a 3rd down back. But we talked about in the previous show, we knew that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah.
3 down back. So not to mention the most retarded thing, and you knew that the pressure was on, and you knew that you had a team that was scared about the first game of the season when they pretty much mortgaged the future of the Texans by giving up 2 first-round picks and a 2nd round pick. But here's the great part about this: they also paid $7 million of his guaranteed money. Just so he could go, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, we were fighting over like a $1.5 million or $2 million from what we would have to designate his franchise tag for a defensive end or linebacker. We were fighting over that amount of money, and I'd say that's a small amount, but compared to $7 million for you to sign him and ship him to another team, I could not understand how that made sense. it just baffles me how bad of a failure of handling of that situation was for the Houston Texans. I mean, if no other reason to say that here's a reason why we have GMs in the league, this is a perfect example of why you need a GM.
I mean, listen, we know that, and we've talked about this, we've debated in the past about how important draft picks are, but they are extremely important, especially when you just, listen, J.J. Watt has maybe, 2 or 3 more years? After that, what do we have? And the fact that the 2020 and the 2021, we don't have a first-round pick is huge,
right?
Especially if God blesses us all and Bill O'Brien's fired at the end of this year. Whoever comes in as a coach has no leverage whatsoever. You have J.J. Watt on his down career. You already know Hopkins is going to be asking for more money. And most importantly, if we can't protect Deshaun Watson, I mean, right now he has one of the cheapest rookie contracts right now. Are they going to pay him his money? Now,
right.
Granted,
for a skill set, yeah, 100%.
Granted, we just lost. Not only did we lose 2 first-round picks and a high second-round pick, and we also paid to get rid of Jadeveon Clowney, basically an extra $7 million, when all we could have done easily was just paid Jadeveon Clowney his money, right? And still could have made that stupid-ass trade, but at least you feel somewhat okay.
Right.
But we got fleeced. Like, we got raped. And I hate to use this word because this is probably not politically correct, but we got raped. And with no Vaseline. And I'm just telling the truth.
Yeah, I don't see how this trade or trades made any type of sense. It just, to give up a Pro Bowler for a 3rd and a 5th or 6th, and a couple linebackers that were going to get cut probably anyways, or at least fighting for their roster spot. We give up a 3-time Pro Bowler for this, right? Number 1 pick. We give up on our end. We give up 2 first-round picks for a really good offensive lineman, but never been to the Pro Bowl. And also on draft day, hey, I don't know if y'all know this story, but Tunsil's the one in the video wearing one of those bong gas masks. And listen, to each his own. I don't care, but I mean, this is as far as the type of.
But you know what? You know what's even crazy about this is, don't get me wrong, Tunsil was a number 1 pick as far as an offensive lineman, offensive tackle. But what's so crazy is the Texans got their guy for the blind spot, but they didn't sign him to a contract either. So next year, guess who's going to be a free agent? Who? Look, we're
oh yeah, 100%.
So this is and another thing too. The Carlos Hyde pickup. Didn't Shady just get dropped from his team, right? If the Texans could have easily just waited a little bit more and not be so impatient, or I like to say, have a real GM, they could have waited because Carlos Hyde probably would have gotten cut, and Shady McCoy was going to be there because he got cut. They could have easily picked him instead of giving another draft pick for a player who may not even make even a dent in our.
Honestly, this is what this showed me. It's an all or nothing type move, but at the same time, it's a panic move because timing of it seemed odd. Like, why wait so long in the game, so long during free agency, so long to where you're literally a week before the season starts, right? You wait all that time and you don't sign Jadeveon Clowney within the allotted time, and you essentially give him away for pennies on the dollar, right? And then you come back and you make so many moves to say, okay, we got an offensive lineman, but we're going to leverage our future for that. Okay, we got another wide receiver and then a couple more defensive people. But even the drafts that we pick are later in the draft because we give up our front end of it all away. And so what it shows me is it's panic because if you don't win immediately, then you're fired. But you don't have to worry about it later on because you won't be there.
You won't be there. Well, this is the Houston Texans. They have a history of keeping coaches way longer than they should. And honestly, I have to really question at this point. Everyone can get mad and fire off and criticize Bill O'Brien, right? Plain and it's worthy criticism. But the owner is allowing these things to happen.
Right.
So that tells me two things. Either he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, or he just doesn't give a damn and he's just counting and collecting that money from all of us fans.
You mean
What?
she?
And what?
You mean she?
The owner's a she?
Of the Texans?
Janice McNair is the she holds the biggest stake.
But she's not doing anything. It's
Right.
just,
Like
it's
day to
his
day,
son.
I think, this the Bob McNair's son. But I mean, you might. I'm not saying that you're wrong, but
Well, I don't know who makes the decisions.
Nah, he's currently-
sounds like it's nobody.
Currently, the son is the one who's making all of the personnel. He's making all decisions. He's pretty much in charge. And he's allowing this stuff to happen. And that's always been something that stood out to me and why it's been so hard to connect with the Texans. We talked about in the past how the Texans really don't have an identity. And if we could place an identity anywhere, we'd say their defense. But now the defense is about to take a big hit. But a big part of why it's so hard to connect with the Texans is the fact that it just feels like the ownership has never really put the proper people in places to make real decisions to make this team a championship team. And here's the thing, Bill O'Brien and the rest of the Houston media is selling you, well, the smart ones are not, but the idiots are selling you that now that we've made and mortgaged our future, that we're a Super Bowl caliber team. No. Dallas Cowboys are a Super Bowl caliber team.
oh,
The Texans are not a Super Bowl caliber team.
You know how much it must have hurt to say that?
It hurt me a lot to say that. And the reasons why I'm making
It
that
hurt me to
point,
hear that.
because anybody that knows me knows I hate the Cowboys. But you know what? At the end of the day, as dumb and as stupid as Jerry Jones is, he's not a complete idiot to know that the only way that the Cowboys would ever win a Super Bowl is with the hands of Ezekiel Elliott. And they did what they needed to do to take care of him.
Yep.
I will say the teams that seem to build for the future and build for years upon years to come, they build with the offensive line first, and that's what the Dallas Cowboys have done.
Beyond.
Offensive line on the Dallas Cowboys now are basically surefire all pros, and then after that you take care of your defense,
And they've been building.
And they just before Ezekiel got signed to this big old contract, he was taking care of his linebackers, defensive ends, and also and whatnot. And now it's time for his offensive stars to get paid. And Ezekiel, of course, $90 million eaten, and he's about to rack up those yardage for Dallas Cowboys. You're gonna actually see a good Dallas Cowboys team on that field, and it's gonna be down to, of course, Philly and Dallas in the NFC East.
John, honestly, man, I was just looking at how good and how amazing that this defensive team, I had to use the word amazing, how good this defensive team of the Cowboys have come along in the last couple of years. What hurt the Cowboys in the past is that they just didn't have that killer defense that they had. But like you said, while everyone's been making fun of the Cowboys, like myself, talking about the Cowboys fans, all they have is their videotapes from the 90s watching the championships and them not winning any playoff games. Last year, they won their first playoff game in how many years?
Right.
So the point being is that Texans, the Cowboys, probably are going to be in the NFC Championship.
So let me ask you this. So let's look at the Dallas Cowboys and the Texans versus the Texans and looking at their situations. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, right, what's a successful year for you?
I think a successful year is a NFC Championship.
Do you have to win your division to be successful?
Not at all.
No. So Eagles can still win as long as you get into the playoffs.
Exactly. Because
So-
the playoffs change everything. We know that.
Right.
Yeah.
So NFC Championship that's their goal. And that's their
Their goal is to win a Super Bowl, and they
Right.
look like they're ready for a Super Bowl.
I'm not saying that they can't win it, but because this is actually the first year that I can actually say, when you're a Dallas Cowboy and you come up to me, a fan, comes up to me and say Dallas is going to go win it all this year. This first year, I might be able to actually fathom that. This is the first year.
It's feasible. It truly is feasible. And we know how the NFL season is such a long season.
Right.
Even though it's 16 years. Like, the point being is that the Cowboys have have everything they need to do. It is always going to go back to one thing. They have all the talent on both ends. It's always going to come down to coaching, right? We already know that. And I don't think they have the greatest coach over there. But sometimes talent can play better than the coaching, right?
Okay. So that leads me to the Texans.
Oh, yeah.
You like that segue? Mm-hmm. So, speaking of talent overriding the coach, in the Texans situation, what would you consider us to be a successful year? Like, would we have to win a division?
For most Texans fans, because they live in mediocrity, their whole including the Texans themselves, all they care about is we can win our division. So that's all they care about is winning division.
So winning division is not success.
Because for us, going to the playoffs and losing in the first round, that's successful.
So, you can still win it. We win one first round game, that's a success. Oh, let me ask you this then. Let me put it to you in a better way. What keeps Bill O'Brien's job?
Wow. I don't even know how to answer that.
You don't even want to say.
Well, because I don't know. Like the worst thing that, listen, and this is from outside mindset. The best thing that could happen for Bill O'Brien is that they make the playoffs, he keeps his job. And for us fans and for the Houston Texans, that's the worst fucking possible thing that can happen. Because making the playoffs and losing is not worth what just happened in the offseason.
Right.
That means that we pretty much wasted almost everything just to be
first round.
Yeah, just
stay where we were.
And stay where we were.
Yeah.
I mean, that is not progress. That right there is like basically on a treadmill of Loserville. That's what that is.
I honestly see us winning a division and losing in the first round. We're not better than, say, the Chiefs. We're not better than.
We're not beating the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
We're not beating the Kansas City Chiefs. We're definitely not beating the Patriots. Hell, I don't even think we're gonna beat the Browns.
Well, Browns, I think they're a little overrated, but I mean, I can see why you say that. But I think the Jets are gonna be somebody.
We
formidable.
talked about that. Hell, I think the Raiders are going to be good this year. I really do.
So that leads me into our next segue, our next topic at hand. We're actually going to start picking our teams, top 5 games of the week. Me and Chris are going to go head to head to see who we think is going to win, and we're going to look back on it at the end of the season. And see how much better I am Chris at picking teams.
Quantum physics is part of this as well. So he's
Quantum what?
Quantum physics.
Quantum physics.
So he's part of this too. So he gets to give his picks.
All right. So what do we? Let's start with the first game of the season tomorrow night.
Ooh, it's gonna be a good game. I'm pumped up for
Chicago at Green Bay. Woo.
Doing
Mike
my shuffle.
Trubisky versus Aaron Rodgers.
You better start it. You better play him, John. You better play Trubisky. I'm telling you, man.
Now when you look at this new Green Bay offense,
no one really knows. This is the crazy thing about it. No one really knows what to expect. I mean, I don't think Aaron Rodgers even threw the ball the whole preseason.
Right. Oh, that's another thing. So Aaron Rodgers decides to sit out the whole preseason, which I'm not too opposed of. I mean, like, what are you going to teach him? How to throw better? You know, he's already the best.
But you need rhythm, though. He does have a lot of young receivers. I'm just saying.
Oh, but there's practice. I'm not saying he didn't practice.
Yeah, but out the gate, your first game is not only a division rivalry, but
that's a good point.
But you're actually going to be playing the Chicago Bears, which is projected to have the best defense in the NFL. They're going to be a top 3 no matter what.
I think in a pro style situation, you can get out of shape, yes, but also you lose the rhythm of the game. You lose how fast people are, and you lose the speed or the sense of the speed of the game. So that may be one thing that hinders them. So at the end of the day, who do you think actually wins this game? Chicago's traveling, which is not too far, but traveling to Green Bay. And it's a big time divisional game.
Is it not in Chicago?
Is it in Chicago?
I think it's at Soldier.
It is in Soldier Field.
Oh,
it is in Chicago.
My bad. So yeah, Green Bay and Chicago. Who do you got?
Ooh, man.
First game of the season. Ooh, that's going into
at Soldier Field, man.
Territory. Not.
You know what? If there's anybody that can go into a hostile environment and there's anybody that can go in there and double check. I'm going to go on the whim here. I think Aaron Rodgers is going to pull out the win. I think it's going to be super close, but I also think this is the first game of the season. It's on a Thursday night. I think both teams are going to come out kind of rusty. They're not going to be in full game mode, but I think Aaron Rodgers finds a way to pull off a winning drive, and they win. I got the Green Bay Packers.
Is it going to come down to a field goal again?
I think it's going to come down to a field goal or a touchdown. Aaron Rodgers.
All right. So Chris got Aaron Rodgers. Qual, what you got, man?
I want to go Packers too, but man, yeah, that is tough. I'm gonna give the edge to the Bears. I mean, all off season and preseason, everyone's been talking about their defense, and it might show up and shut down Aaron Rodgers a little bit. And I also have Tariq Cohen and and Allen Robinson. So give me some points, please.
So, more of what I've said before, going into hostile territory, not being up on the speed of the game, I just think it's too much for Green Bay to overcome, especially with, I honestly think it's going to be the same offense that they've always had. I don't see anything changing. And Chicago's on the high, man. They basically lost it on the field goal, last year.
Trubisky's year.
I actually think that not only do the Chicago Bears lose this game, but I think it's the only game they lose in their division the whole season.
Wow, that's big words. All right, so
where are you going, John?
I'm gonna go Chicago.
The Bears.
Yeah.
The Bears. It's not a bad pick, man.
All right.
Next
on the board. I know it's not a big game, but I'm really interested in seeing Buffalo and New York come out. Man, I think New York Jets. Hey, man.
So you're picking Buffalo, New York Jets?
Yeah.
That's your game you're picking.
Hey,
okay.
That's my game of the week. I'm gonna be paying the most attention to. I want to see how, you see how everybody that's waiting to see what the Browns look like. I'm more excited about the Jets.
Well, we both agreed in our our football preview and a couple of podcasts ago that we thought the Jets were the team that would definitely give the Patriots a run for the money, and most important, they have nothing to lose, and they've had a lot of talent, and so it should be interesting to see how they play. I mean, I think this is probably going to be a landslide win for all of us here, but I think we're all going to probably pick the Jets. I'm picking the Jets because it's Buffalo.
How did they cut McCoy, and why?
Man, listen, the only thing that I ever remember Buffalo for is losing. 4 Super Bowls and continuously losing after that. I don't even know how Buffalo still has a football team. But
they have fans, crazy fans.
Oh, they love their fans.
Going through the tables and stuff. They had to try to nix that. Who you got, Qual?
Jets.
John, right. I'm assuming you got the Jets.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Jets as
Are you
well.
going for Bell? That's pretty much why you're watching.
Oh, no. Le'Veon Bell has nothing to do with it.
All right.
What's the next team, Chris?
A game that I think is going to be really interesting, and a game that I think is going to be intriguing, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs at Jacksonville. I think that's a huge game. I think that's a big game because I think Mahomes is definitely a top tier talent. I think he's going to he's going to have a good season this year. But I do know that last year was his first time ever starting as a whole. Defenses have film on him now. So I don't think it's going to be as easy as it was last year where they're just ripping and rolling like they were. Jacksonville Jaguars still has a top 5 defense. Not only that, but they finally have a decent quarterback. They got a lot of young talent. So I think that's actually going to be a nail-biter. I actually think that it's going to come down to the end, whoever has the ball last. I personally think that, man.
Well, they don't have a defense, so that's 1 plus for Jacksonville. So you got, who do you have though?
I think Jacksonville is going to win this game. I think that this is going to be not only do I have Jacksonville winning this game, but I think this is going to set the bar for Jacksonville for the rest of the season and them winning division. This would be a huge win for them, especially out the gate. But I think they're going to throw a lot of different defensive schemes in Mahomes, and I think they're going to really shake him up and have him. I actually got Mahomes throwing 3 interceptions in this game. So,
well, that's 6 touchdowns and 3 interceptions.
Yeah, one's going to run back for a touchdown. Watch.
All right. Jalen
Jacksonville,
Ramsey
man.
paying attention.
Jacksonville.
Mr. Qua.
I got the Chiefs, man.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not saying he doesn't have any good points. Christopher Rodriguez can always try to convince people, but it's too much offense, too little defense. Jacksonville Jaguars, other than their defense, they really, man, to me, more than Nick Foles, it's whether or not Fournette can get off. Can he get off and do something? Because
You just said that the Kansas City Chiefs don't have a defense. So, boom. There you go.
okay, that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't have any
Will it
wide
be
receiver.
enough?
Did anybody pick a Jacksonville wide receiver for fantasy football?
D.D. Westbrook.
D.D. Westbrook is a great. You pissed me off with that pick. I really wanted that pick. Didn't you pick that up?
I didn't pick it up.
Somebody picked it up.
I just like his name.
D.D. Westbrook is
D.D. Westbrook.
Everyone's been talking about how real the relationship between Nick Foles and D.D. Westbrook is. But we always know that anytime there's a camp, there's always hype. But this is like real. D.D. Westbrook is going to be he's going to be close to a top 10 receiver in the league. And Nick Foles, I'm sorry, when has Nick Foles ever disappointed? Nick Foles always finds a way to play the big games. And right off the bat, he's playing against what's perceivably the Super Bowl favorite. Jacksonville has nothing to lose. And I'm sorry, John. I know that defense is not your thing, and I know you don't really glamorize defense the way I do. But Jacksonville Jaguars are going to give the Kansas City Chiefs a run for the money in the first game.
All right.
Can't.
You got Chiefs. I got Chiefs. We'll revisit this one at the
Jacksonville. Oh man, I know I'm gonna be 0. I'm gonna be 5-0.
All right. To round up the last 2 games, what do we decide on, Chris?
We're gonna do the Sunday night game, which is Pittsburgh and New England, and then of course we gotta do the Monday night game, which is going to be the New Orleans Saints, or actually the Texans at New Orleans.
So Pittsburgh and New England
Should be a good game too.
Ben Roethlisberger another year. Juju about to see if he's a breakout star or not, and then James Conner is the next Le'Veon Bell in that system. Can they do that to New England, or is New England too much? I mean, it just seems like New England and Pittsburgh always seem to play, and New England always comes out on top. This is the first game of the week.
I mean, we talked about it too. The tides have definitely turned from a Patriots. If you got the Patriots defense in fantasy football, they're gonna do good things. They have a great defense. I'm curious to see, because this is the first time Roethlisberger doesn't have all his weapons that he had in the past. Connor actually showed some stardom there.
100%.
But man, I don't know. Man, I want to go with the Patriots, but it's the first. Like, if you're ever going to beat the Patriots, you beat them in the first game of the week.
Right.
So I got Pittsburgh.
I see Patriots doing a little. They experiment a little bit. They see what works, who works, where they work. They've had a couple cases to deal with off the field this offseason. They just come out of a Super Bowl win. Gronk is retired. They have a kind of a flux in the offensive line. They had to go and make a couple trades. I'm not saying they won't work out. I just think that right at the beginning of the season, everybody might not know their paces as well. And, Tom Brady's all about timing. He's pretty much, other than Edelman, he's got a makeshift wide receiver core or new wide receiver core. So I just think it's too much to overcome. And at least the Steelers have had one year under their belt with this new iteration that they're going through right now. So my pick, personally, I know I'm skipping you, Qua, but my pick is going to be Pittsburgh as well. So, Qua, what you got?
Y'all both going Steelers?
Yeah, man. The Patriots just seem kind of vulnerable. For the first, truly vulnerable. We always want them to be vulnerable, but they do seem a lot more vulnerable.
That's exactly what they want you to do.
I think it's a big
Bill Belichick.
Don't you ever doubt Tom Brady in TB12, man.
You ain't lying about
So
that.
who you got in
Oh,
week 1?
Pats, man. Come on.
Really?
Hey, they're not my team or anything, but
I like it.
I can't ever
I like
doubt.
it.
I will
like it.
never doubt Tom Brady.
Paul, I see you brought your balls. Just
He even
And I
he
think-
even came out with that thing. He was someone was talking about. Everyone's talking about preseason and camp and like saying like, oh, like which see which teams like will let their starters play and stuff. And Tom Brady himself is like, I don't need to throw no touch. I know how to throw some touchdowns. He knows exactly how to play his offense the way he wants it to. He's still confident. At how old is he now? 40?
82.
Is he 40?
82.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, like 67. Yeah.
82.
Man, I believe in TB12, so I'm going Pats.
I don't blame you. I just it's
I
too
can't argue
much
with that,
too
man.
soon.
And he's got. Didn't you say who per reception or per catch has the most yardage of his receivers?
Mr. Air Josh Gordon. Josh Air Gordon.
Not to mention James White, man. He's been killing it every year. It's like their weapon. That's going to be like his main receiver. Because that guy's, he's running back, but he's always, I don't know, man. It should be interesting.
And they signed Demaryius Thomas after dropping Demaryius Thomas.
Right.
They dropped him and re-signed him again?
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
And the game of the week, of course.
Oh, God.
This is gonna set the tone for the rest of the year. New Orleans and the Houston Texans. Texans traveling to Louisiana,
the
New Orleans, Louisiana.
Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Oh, no.
Now, New Orleans is gonna come out mad. They think that they were robbed from being in the Super Bowl. So
They were robbed. I still believe it.
Houston Texans, New Orleans Saints. Who you got, Chris?
Oh, it's my turn? Damn. This is probably the easiest one. The New Orleans Saints are not only going to beat the Houston Texans, but I actually think they're going to blow them out on national TV.
Blowout alert. Ooh, man.
It might be listen, what I'm hoping as a Texans fan, as a Deshaun Watson fan, as a Hopkins fan, as a JJ Watt fan, is that somehow, some way we pull off an upset. Because I think we can all agree, if they beat them in New Orleans, based off the talent that we have in coaching, pure coaching, it'll definitely be the upset of the year, right? But unfortunately, I just think that the trades that they made, especially with Tencel, I just think is too late in the game. I just feel like the Texans are coming in there not well prepared, and they're going against not only a great team, not only against a great legendary quarterback, but they're going against an amazing coach. I just don't see it looking good for us at all.
That's true.
Just don't see it looking good.
Qual, who you got?
I don't even want to answer this, man. But you know what? I'm gonna go for the team to shock the world, dude. I'm going for Texans week 1.
And the reason would be
I'm a homer.
besides
You
that.
can call me that. That's fine. No, because I mean, dude, they have. I think they do have the tools to pull it off. It's whether we can actually, it's how good our play calling and our coaching.
Okay, strike 2.
Yeah, but you know what? If the
love
odds
it, dude. I
if the
love it.
odds were fucking 1 to 100, I'll still take Texans.
Listen,
man.
I'm gonna be
sorry,
white.
man.
Okay. He's gonna take one for the team on this one. He knows he's gonna take one.
I'll take it, dude. I'll take the L.
Hey, we're going to be watching this game in Vegas, all right? We're going to be in Vegas for our draft, and here's the thing. I have never betted on the game before in my life.
But you about
But
to.
you'll bet on this one, huh?
I'm going to put $20 on the Texans to win this because I feel like if they win this, I don't even know the odds.
Well, I'll tell you what, man. If you want to look at a team that looks like they're going to take it
Or
this year,
steamroller.
as far as like a for sure pick, and if you said you betting money on any game this week, it's not for me. It's not New Orleans and Texans. It for sure. It's the Dolphins versus Baltimore. Baltimore is going to come out, brand new offense, run it down your throat, and the Miami Dolphins just traded away everything. Their new mascot's a tank because they're tanking so bad this year. You saw that on the NFL memes IG account.
Make sure you put that up. That's cute.
That is hilarious.
I like that logo. I like the new branding, the tanks. Actually, Miami tanks actually sounds tight.
And then Brian Flores, the head coach of the Miami Dolphins,
Oh, wow.
inexplicably said that they
I can't
weren't
believe
tanking.
it. I can't believe he has a
You trade away your best offensive lineman. You trade away your best defensive linebacker, Kiki Alonso, and then you trade away your best wide receiver in Kenny Stills. What are you working with, and how are you not tanking at this point? But I digress. I'm just saying, if you got any money, put it on the Baltimore Ravens, more so than the Houston Texans.
Oh, I'm just doing it for shits and giggles. 'Cause if I win that's big. Plus, everybody can like clown me on YouTube. Everybody can clown me on YouTube about how I win against the Texans, because that's what's gonna happen. Like, if the Texans find a way to pull this out, everyone's gonna be calling.
Okay, listen. Texans are gonna lose.
I agree.
Texans are gonna lose, and I get.
I'll take it.
Speak your truth, John. Speak your truth.
Listen, best case scenario, right?
Best
of the Texans,
case.
right?
Okay.
The Titans lose to Baker Mayfield, Odell Beckham Jr., and Jarvis Landry, right? Kareem Hunt 6 weeks from now, but Titans are gonna lose or let's hope the Titans lose to the Browns, right? And whether you want this to happen or not, Jacksonville is going to lose to the Chiefs, right? And then Cody Brissett is probably going to lose to the Chargers. That's an interesting game. Chargers and Colts. Colts are going to come out with a lot of heart, and they want to make sure that everybody knows they're still a good team without Andrew Luck, and they're going to put up the biggest fight. But of all those teams, it looks like every one of those AFC South teams can lose. And that's the best thing that can happen for the Texans. And we'll know whether or not the Texans have to win this game or not by Monday. So just listen, you got your Tunsil yesterday. You just got him, right? You got Kenny Stills. It's all about routes and timing. You got him yesterday.
But he's only a deep threat, and that's Deshaun Hopkins is only going to be able to find him in a deep end zone if he can
Will Fuller
stand on his feet. Well,
and then so you replace people too late in the off season for us to get better immediately. I'm not saying Tunsil's going to have a bad game, but I don't think he's going to have the best game, right?
Oh man.
And we gave away so much of our defense, and even with the linebackers that we got in place of Jadeveon Clowney, it's not enough. It won't make up for it.
Barkevius Mingo.
I'm already drinking
name.
in my
So
head. Jesus, it's gonna be bad.
I got New Orleans, man. I just can't do it. So what I like about our picks is everybody has a different set of picks from each other. Qual, I don't know what you're smoking over there. But,
That's cool, man. That's cool, man.
And Chris, you got some bold picks, man. I think I'm not trying to play it safe, but I think I got the safest pick. I might probably go 5-0 this week, but we'll revisit this.
Man, first of all, man, the first week is always the hardest week for all teams.
Yeah, that's true.
And I think that I like the matchups for actually pretty much for the whole NFL, like the start of the week, because the teams that you're expecting to win might possibly lose, because and don't get me wrong, if the Chiefs lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars, I'm gonna say the same thing about the Bears losing to Green Bay Packers. The Chiefs could easily not lose the rest of the way.
Right.
So I just think that if there's ever been a time to beat the Patriots, there's ever been a time to beat the Chicago Bears or the Chiefs, this is always that first week, because everyone's still getting in football. Listen, practicing is completely different from the actual real games. And we all suffer in the beginning of fantasy football because the games are just sloppy.
Right.
And so, like, there's just something about teams with good defenses that find a way to win those sloppy games. And that's why I'm going that route.
I don't know if this is a consistent thing, but I just feel like every year the NFL just seems to have a wide open spectrum of teams that could actually
Absolutely.
contend. And we don't know what Jacksonville is going to look like. You might be completely right at them being their defense is going to carry them like they did a couple years ago with Blake Bortles. And of course, they got a better quarterback in Nick Foles. So you don't know. Jacksonville Jaguars could go 13-3. That'd be bad for the Houston Texans, but it's just wide open at this point. And I do think that even though the Chiefs are most likely going to win, I do think that Jacksonville can put up a good show versus them. Again, the NFL is wide open this year, man.
I love it. I love it. This is what makes the NFL so great. It's why it is, the best sport, period. Because not only can we do stuff like fantasy football, and it'd be so much fun, but at the same time, like every year, with the exception of a few teams like the Miami Dolphins, there are teams out there that are doing things drastically to improve them teams and make them more, at least compete. You know what I mean? And that's all we ask for is watching good games where you can compete. And I think tomorrow's Thursday night game is definitely gonna be. To me, it's so exciting because we know it's gonna be a good game. I mean, anytime you have Aaron, right? I mean, that's
you know what? Man. You know what the most trepidation or fear I have is having to wait between Friday and Saturday for the next round of games to start. God. Yeah, we get the one game.
Well, that's the thing now. Like, hopefully, maybe John this year in Qual 2, man. I challenge you guys on Saturday, man. Watch college football. This season is
perfect segue.
This season is already proven to be good. We had a couple of upsets this past weekend. I hate the fact that the U of H lost to Oklahoma because if you know me, I hate all Big 12 teams. But at the same time, I could not help from cheering for one of Houston's own, Jalen Hurts, who looked phenomenal.
Yeah, he transferred out of Alabama, perennial championship house team, and he goes to OU in 6 touchdowns. 6 against.
Don't remind me.
U of H. Hey, he looked phenomenal. He just. You know what he reminded me? He looked like a little bit of Kyler Murray. Just had that spunk about him. Yes, he doesn't throw like him, but what I think is going on is he has that same offense that Kyler Murray got to flourish in. So it's wide open, and he gets to make the decision whether he wants to throw or not. And he looked phenomenal. And it is
also,
U of H. I thought U of H was going to be better, though. I wouldn't be surprised.
We play sloppy.
Defense, I wouldn't be surprised
that sloppy,
U of H is a fringe top 25 team.
That's the thing. I think U of H is probably going to do a lot better the rest of the way. I just think that Oklahoma and Jalen Hurts, and one thing that the coach was saying about Jalen Hurts is that when you look at him, it's like he's been there. Because he has,
right?
Like when I heard
3 straight national championships.
This was when I hear that, I'm like, this because he has, and that's one thing I love about Jalen Hurts. And don't get me wrong, listen, the right decision and one of the hardest decisions for Saban was to start Tua over Hurts, but it made sense because at the end of the day, Tua just has a better arm, and we saw that last year. Just a better arm, and he's just that much more of a talented quarterback. But don't get it twisted. That's not knocking Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts has that Cam Newton confidence where it's just a nonchalant demeanor, but he never gets rattled.
Right.
And I think from everyone's standpoint, the thing that is, I've been watching him when he came in as a true freshman in Alabama, his arm has truly improved. He was making throws that he couldn't make 2 or 3 years ago. Really? And everyone was talking about he was making those big throws. So I think that sometimes it does take a change of scenery. And obviously he has a good coach. And I hate the fact he's playing for Oklahoma, but damn, it's gonna be fun to watch because we all know what would be great is to see Alabama versus Oklahoma in the playoffs. So
how far do you honestly think that OU could get to? Because OU was right there last year with Kyler Murray. They
ran into Alabama. The one thing that Oklahoma and all the Big 12 teams struggle with is they don't have defenses, and we saw that because U of H was able to make somewhat of a comeback. That's why he had to throw 6 touchdowns.
Right.
It's not about defense over there in Oklahoma, but I do think if they win out.
Do you think that he could, if he were to face somebody like a Nick Saban in the playoffs, in the college football playoffs, do you think that him playing under Saban would be better an advantage for him or advantage for Nick Saban? Because Nick Saban would know.
Ooh, I think it would be advantage. I think it would be advantage. It could easily. Well, I mean, it's hard to say. I think from Jalen Hurts, because he doesn't get rattled, he's such a calm demeanor. I think that he would handle that pressure well. Now, I'm not saying he's going to be successful at it,
Right.
but he wouldn't be rattled to the point where he's losing. He's losing his direction.
Why do I have the feeling that Tua coming in for Jalen Hurts a couple years ago and winning the national championship, it hurt him.
Oh,
no pun
beyond.
intended, right? But for Tua to lose in the national championship and Jalen Hurts not to be able to come in and take over, why do I feel like Jalen Hurts said in his mind he thinks he would have won that game had he been able to come back in and done the same thing basically?
Listen. This is what makes this college football season pretty fun. Is that there's a lot of people, a lot of teams trying to redeem themselves. I think Alabama is really trying to redeem themselves. This is the first time ever that they are starting so many true freshmen and sophomores on a defense standpoint, just because of injuries they had over in the offseason. So it's going to be challenged. So far, the defense looked good, but they did play Duke. So I'm not gonna go and just
get all
hyped up. I'm not gonna become a Texan fan and get all excited. But I do think that Alabama is definitely, after getting that heart ass whooping they took from Clemson last year, I think they want to get back and this is what I worried about the most as an Alabama fan. I think that Saban and the team is going to be so worried about getting back to face Clemson that they forget all about Oklahoma and Jalen Hurts, because Jalen Hurts has a lot to prove in himself, for his family, for his own legacy. That's just somebody that is hard not to put money on, that if he was to play Alabama, he might beat him.
That'd be the story of the whole college football season.
Hell yeah.
I think that you could probably make a movie out of that hat. In that case, if Jalen Hurts wins that game, that better be a movie.
Or at least a 30 for 30, right?
Right. More so than Michigan versus Ohio State, but I'm just.
Well, Michigan finally might beat Ohio State. Jim Harbaugh, there you go. That's all you're playing for, anyways. To beat Ohio State.
But yeah, no, I'm not the biggest college football fan, but it's already developing storylines that are interesting. So it's got me pretty invested already. So we'll see. So this is the SportsTrapp Podcast. My name is John Trapp. Christopher Rodriguez. Got a little quick hits as we roll on out of here. Did just want to go real quick. Your hat reminds me, old school Houston Astros hat on Mr. Claw's head. Did you see the first no-hitter by a Astro to go full 9 innings since, I want to say like Nolan Ryan and Mike Scott in the Astrodome? No-hitter, all 9 innings. I thought it was almost a perfect game. He walked one, but he got in a double play. And the one that ruined the perfect game for him was none other than Craig Biggio's son, right? The irony of that, but Verlander, I think he just won the Cy Young Award.
Hands down, he won the Cy Young Award. What you're so crazy? After he did that, then Coles comes back and has
another 14 strikeouts.
Another 14. So I mean, I think it's coming. Well, we all know Morton's not getting it after the debacle that happened when Tampa Bay played the Astros. But I will say that if you're a Houston Astros fan, which we all are, nothing can be more exciting than have your two aces out there fighting for the Cy Young Award. It's crazy.
Yeah, that was interesting, and I just think that I was watching that race, and one of the things is, man, just to see two Cy Young candidates go basically head to head, because it's one Verlander one night and then Garrett Cole the next night, and you got Verlander pitching a no hitter with 14 strikeouts, and Garrett Cole come right back the next day, 14 strikeouts, and like within 1 inning, I was like, there goes his no hitter because he gave up a home run. But Cole is just lighting them on fire as well. So had it been any other season, Cole might have just win this Cy Young. I'm not saying he can't at this point, but it's a lot to overcome. Qual, you got anything else for us, bud?
I got to bring some tennis into this.
Hell yeah.
So as I mentioned last week, U.S. Open is still underway into the second week now. A little bit of craziness going on now. So, we're into the semis, I think, of the women's and men's. Had some upsets, some early dismissals of Mr. Roger Federer is out. Novak Djokovic out.
But Roger Federer he lost, right?
Yeah, see, but they're both dealing with injuries.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I know that Djokovic was out because of an injury. He had to
Yeah.
stop the game, though.
So Djokovic retired in the
Right.
third set. Just like right after he like double faulted, he just kind of like was like, "Yeah, all right, what's up? I'm out." And he went straight for the.
No way. He just got up and
Yeah.
left?
No, he was serving, or I think he had just like double faulted and lost a game or something like that, and then just kind of started walking straight towards the net and was just like, "All right, I'm done."
He shook his hand and said,
And shook his
"I'm
hand,
done?"
and then
Whoa, that's crazy.
and then was out. But Roger Federer played it through, but you could tell he was dealing with some pain.
He's getting up there, man.
And it was it was a whole 5-set match, and he won the first and the third set, but then couldn't finish it off. So he's dealing with some back issues.
But he didn't retire. He finished the thing. Okay.
He finished. But yeah, Djokovic had, I guess, been dealing with some shoulder pains. I think it's his left shoulder, so he was
Right.
he was getting attention from the doctors and the staff there, whatnot. But yeah, he was just kind of like, well, I'm out. And then the most frustrating thing, of course, and I was like, I don't know why this happens, but yeah, the crowd started booing him.
Djokovic or
Yeah.
Federer?
Djokovic.
Oh, yeah.
Because he retired. It's like, it's like, I get it. It's the middle of the match. And, most people are like, probably thinking like, I spent all this money for this ticket and I don't even get, like.
Hey, man. Yeah, it says on the bottom of the ticket.
Yeah. And I get it. But it's just frustrating. And it's like, dude, like, you don't think that he wanted to like continue the match, but it's like, and that's the thing. Like, I just wish that this would just end overall in sports.
Booing?
Yeah. Well, when booing if somebody is
Retires.
hurt. Yeah, but you think, he's not retiring because he's like he's tired.
Right.
No,
like, you get it?
Yeah,
Like,
he's the world number one. Like, you don't think that
Andrew
he has busted his ass day in and day out. Like,
So is he retiring for good?
No. That's what you call
their game, like, because they can't.
he retired. He retired the match.
Thanks for both of you guys serving me with all this
Oh
knowledge.
my God.
You guys aced it.
He's out.
I hate this guy. I want El Chico Malo.
Okay,
back.
so that's good.
Damn.
So
yeah.
So now the favorite to win the tournament at this point, the US Open
is Nadal, hands down.
Right.
Yeah, on the men's side, and he's let me see who's
Who's that one guy you showed me earlier? What's his name?
Medvedev. Yeah,
but he's
so
like number 5 in the world, right?
I'm going for Medvedev.
he's number 5 in this draw.
I like
I don't know
that
what he is
guy.
in the world.
Okay, so what I like about him, you said Djokovic was booed. So Medvedev got kind of upset in the middle of the game. The towel boy came and tried to give him a towel. And he's like kind of essentially interrupting it because they don't give him the towel in the middle of somebody serving. So he snatches, because I guess he was losing, frustrated, and snatches the towel out of the towel boy's hand. Yeah. And he's like, "What are you doing?" And he flicks the towel away. Right? It was rude. It was rude.
No, it wasn't. It was a learning moment. Sometimes you gotta check. Sometimes you gotta check people. It was a teachable moment. He taught him. I bet he'll never do it again.
That towel boy went and actually got it.
Yeah, right. Did you hear what he said after the match? He definitely Medvedev.
Oh yeah, no. So okay,
he feeds on it. He's the heel.
He played that heel role so good. So Medvedev basically ends up winning the match, and he's won a couple since then too.
He's in the semis.
Who's he facing next?
He's facing Dimitrov.
Who? Okay.
The one who beat Federer, right?
Yes.
Look at you. Who's serving up the knowledge at this
Grigor
point?
Dimitrov from Bulgaria.
So they
ranked number 78.
Wow. So that's the semis, right?
That's the semis.
So he's one step away from essentially, he would probably, most likely, if going by favorite, he would face Nadal, right? Mm-hmm. So this is what he said in his interview after he won. He goes, hold on. I want to talk to all you guys everybody was booing him because he threw the towel away from the towel boy. Mm-hmm. Everybody was booing him. He's like, hey, I want to thank you guys because the energy you giving me tonight, and everybody's like, boo, boo, gave me the win. Because of you guys, I won. Because if you were not here, I would have probably lost this match because I was so tired. I was cramping yesterday, and it was so tough for me to play it. But I just want you to know, when you sleep tonight, in the middle of the blues, he's like, I won because of you. Oh, dude.
That's so gangster.
That is awesome.
That's awesome.
I'm okay with that.
Dude, that was the best
okay
heel moment in tennis I've ever seen.
Yeah.
He was trolling him so hard.
Yeah.
And it's in jest, but at the same time, people, like, the audience made it so much better by him. Even after he said that, they were continuously booing him.
Yeah.
And even at the next game, the next match with the next opponent, they kept booing him. So, man, I really, really want to see the finals and how it turns out with him versus Nadal.
To me, that's how you handle it. You do it the right way. You use it as motivation, and it's like, think about it. You know why it's crazy is because this is tennis. You don't see it in tennis, but think about this in the context of what if this was boxing or UFC?
Right.
Oh, that's like every fight. Someone's gonna be like the heel. You see, even like someone like like Conor McGregor. Like he's such
that was good. But
he's always gonna be booed, and guess what? Conor's just gonna be eat it up. He's gonna you boo me all you want, motherfuckers. I'm still gonna get over here and kick ass. Yeah, whatever. And that was that. But you don't hear tennis players. You don't. Right. Roger Federer is never going to go out.
That's what they need, though. They need,
That's why I'm okay. I'm okay with that. But I was against the like. I don't. That's poor sportsmanship to me on the fans to boo someone because they retired because they are injured or because they are in self-preservation mode of not wanting to kill themselves because they're further going to injure their body. And I was like, yo, that's the same thing. Like, why are you going to boo KD?
Yeah. Like, I hope you never miss a day of work in your life.
Huh?
I said, I hope you never miss a day of work in your life. Yeah, I was
like, get the fuck out of here. Like,
so
we were cheering for our job, and you walked off.
Hey, listen, I feel like I get booed every day, so I get booed by you guys. I get booed by all the people in my fantasy leagues.
Bet you Chico Malo can't stand you.
That guy hates me, obviously. My wife boos me. I obviously, matter of fact, I think my name is Boo. So,
it calls to boo so much.
Speaking of booing, is Serena, she still in it?
Oh yeah, if
nice.
If you watch that last match that she played against this girl Wang, from I believe from China.
You don't say.
You motherfuckers. Yo, you'd feel bad. She got demolished. I'm talking destroyed.
She
was like 6-1, 6-0.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was it really?
Oh yeah, exactly. It was 6-1, 6-0.
No,
that's exactly the score.
Joking. I just pulled that one out my ass.
That was the score.
So she demolished the Wang, huh?
Yeah. She did.
Damn.
And another upset was God damn it, Naomi Osaka, who's the number one pick, who was the former U.S. Open champ who beat Serena last year.
Right.
And she got ousted.
No.
Even it was before the quarters. So yeah, round 4.
Did we talk about that last week about her and
Did she cry?
Coco?
Did we? No, I don't think we did. I think that happened after.
Yeah, that was a bit.
Yeah, so that was after the match of Coco and Osaka, and
man, that would have been a good rematch to have Serena and her.
Yeah, man. So I'll tell you this: I'm the biggest Osaka fan after just kind of like everything that's happened with her. Even last year, I had my whole spiel about that, but like even this year, like everyone in that building was like 100% like Team Coco. And like I get it, like she's young, she's like great story. She's like a young phenom. She's American. You're playing the U.S. Open, like I get it.
She's Japanese.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she's Japanese, but she's pretty much raised her whole life in Florida.
So
she's like straight up American.
Okay.
But I think she's half black, half Japanese.
Okay.
But like the most like mild mannered, like
man, she seems real chill.
Yeah, she's super chill, and she made it a point when she beat Coco to pull Coco and talk to her and say, "Hey, like
100%.
I want you to do the post game interview with me, and I know it's going to be like emotional or whatever, but like I want you to be there with me. I want you to have a voice and say something, not just me talking about me winning, So that was like a big deal. And even more gracious after the fact when Osaka started talking and was saying like, "Hey, I want to thank everybody here for the energy. Even though it wasn't for me, I appreciate it. Like thank you for supporting Coco." And people and she went out even further.
It's too good, man.
Even
That's
further
too
to
good.
shout out her parents, pointed to Coco's parents and say thank you for raising her the way that you do, for all the hard work that you do. And they from the camp that they grew up with and they played in Florida, they've seen each other. And she's seen her family.
Being a socially conscious person.
Yeah, but she's genuine. She really is.
I think it's a little bit of what she went through though too. She wants to be the complete opposite of what actually happened to her with her and Serena Williams.
Yeah,
last year.
but that's
Whether
not.
it's on purpose or not.
I don't want people to, and I don't want you to think that that's a gimmick. Like she's just doing that just to be in the good graces of nobody.
Nah,
No,
I don't think that
that's who
either,
she
bro.
is. And I think that unfortunately that doesn't get enough spotlight. It's more of just like people. I don't know, like the whole thing about the last year.
There's a lot of pub on it. No, I think there was pub, and then like the fact that it is on a women's. It's a draw. Having.
Isn't she sponsored by Chick-fil-A?
Did she? I don't fucking know.
I don't know. I'm just being mean.
Shoot, dick. No, she's actually sponsored by Nissan. Like they make those cup noodles, and their logo is that the bowl,
kinda tight.
the bowl with the chopsticks, the Nissan. You've seen it, trust me.
Who is
Osaka? And I'm like, who the hell gave us?
Hey,
Listen, like you got a market, I guess.
Yeah.
She has a market.
Yeah.
see, no one's talking about that though. But let's just say if it was changed, I'm not trying to be mean here, but let's just say like Serena was sponsored by like Popeyes. People would be fucking pissed off about that.
Yeah. But Serena would have to be like, yeah, let me go ahead and put that patch on me.
Did you hear that? What was it? Beyonce has like a lifetime Popeye supply. Cause she like mentioned somewhere in some interview or something that she loved Popeyes.
Yep.
And then someone from Popeyes was saying like, well, you can have as much as you want. Anytime you come in, lifetime supply.
Hey, pays to be famous.
Listen, I am saving myself for. I haven't had anything fried for a long time now, but I'm saving myself for that
Saving
damn
myself.
sandwich because it's been
Oh
so
man,
hyped up.
I had one that was like 10 times better.
Have you tried the Popeyes chicken
Oh
sandwich?
yeah, I tried it like 2 months ago. You late, dog? Come on.
Well, I mean, I don't ever eat at Popeyes.
dude,
I see
I
that
went-
line on Tuesdays. I'm like, man, hell with this.
Yeah, I went to
Jiggers.
Popeyes again this week. Still sold out.
Oh, it's still gonna be sold out. So where's this chicken sandwich you said I should go and try it? That's better than Popeyes.
It's from a food truck. That's right. It's right
Shout
by the
out to
studio.
food truck, man.
Yo, it's called Miko's Hot Chicken.
Miko's
man.
Hot Chicken. Where at?
Man. It's like a little food truck park. Right now they're mostly I think parked there. It's right off of Chimney Rock and like Westheimer.
Okay, so food trucks moves, right?
Yeah, but I think that one's parked there for like a good while for now. So if you watch it, or if you
Nobody's
watching
gonna sit
this,
there and watch the corner.
No, I mean like I'm saying you
What
watching
time-
this.
okay,
I'm saying you
what
watching this
day,
episode.
What time did you go and where was it?
It's there like all day.
All right, let's put
Like
them on. Let's
midday.
put them on this podcast so people can go try to
Yeah.
find them and look on.
Trust
I'm sure
me.
they have IG.
Yeah.
Okay,
Trust me, it's
so what made
good.
this chicken sandwich so great?
Just the way that they do the seasoning is great. They do like a great dry spice.
Okay.
It's a perfect amount of spice. You could do levels of spice. You could do like I got the mild because I'm a little bitch, so I can't do hot. But I tried. Fuck you. I tried someone. I tried my friends who had the hot, and I was like, "Ooh, it's good." But then right when I took that bite, I was like, "Oh, nope, no, I'm good." Because that dry spice will hit your throat like attack it.
That sounds
Like,
good.
Oh yeah, but it has
Nico's
this great little coleslaw on it. There's a
Okay.
perfect amount of like
coleslaw. They put coleslaw on it.
Yeah.
Okay,
But it's
okay.
not like
Pickles?
some generic coleslaw. It's like a
Pickles?
really good.
Pickles.
Does it have
How many times
pickles?
are you gonna say pickles, man?
Man, pickles are important on a chicken sandwich, man. I didn't know how.
I know.
they
I
were
think I had
until-
it. I think I said no pickles. I'm not a big pickle fan, so I
Oh,
said
okay.
no pickles. But yeah. So, but they do.
That's right. No
But they do it. But they do it like not like a patty. but it's more of like a breast. It's not like one whole piece. They're like strips. So it's almost like when you.
Oh really?
So
oh man, that's
say that. I know.
Okay,
I get it.
okay,
So,
okay.
But think of like Cane's. Like when you get like a Cane's sandwich.
Yeah.
It's more on the lines of that. But the flavor is like 10 times better. Trust me.
One more time. What's it called?
Miko's Hot
Miko's.
Chicken. MICOS Hot Chicken. Look them up on Instagram. Check them out. They're dope.
Sounds good. What were you saying?
I mean, I don't know, man. I guess I'll try it, man. It doesn't. It is like you kind of threw me off. Like I don't want a chicken tender sandwich. I want a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, that's
big,
the only
hearty,
drawback.
Yeah, well.
But
chicken.
you know what?
I
It's
like-
made to order
listen.
though, so it's gonna be hot.
I like breasts, and I want chicken breasts. That's what I want. I'm a breast guy. Obviously, you're a tender guy, so.
All right, y'all. We about to wrap this show up. John Trapp, Christopher Rodriguez, Mr. Quality Control, Sports Chat Podcast. You got anything else to cover that we didn't cover?
Oh, we have an announcement.
So this weekend is going to be big UFC event.
Yup. Dustin Poirier,
Dustin Poirier
the Louisiana
and
boy versus the dude that stopped Conor McGregor and hasn't
Khabib.
really heard from.
What's his last name, John?
Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Nurmagomedov from Dagestan.
Russia. Yeah,
Who
yeah.
fights when he was a kid? Fought baby bears.
Yeah,
That guy's a joke.
Damn.
I hate that guy. I
Yeah?
don't like that guy, and that's because I'm a Conor McGregor fan. I just think like
How you hate that guy?
What?
I sound like it. I don't like his. I don't know.
You don't like his what?
I don't know. I don't like his.
You don't like the way he's going to knock you out?
I don't like that guy.
El Chico.
I'm not impressed.
El Chico hater over
Not
here,
impressed.
dude. Not impressed?
Are you serious? I think
All right, watch the fight Saturday. Watch the fight Saturday.
I think he's gonna lose.
Hey, one thing I will say this. Okay, so you got Conor McGregor, and everybody kind of like looks at him now, and he's lost a couple of matches, actually just to Mayweather, which you kind of everybody knew, and then Khabib, right? And he lost to Nate Diaz, but he revenged that loss. But look
We
at
didn't even talk about that UFC event. We skipped over that one.
Well,
Nate
well-
Diaz. Well, we'll go back.
Whoa. Oh, right. You see on his come up, he beat Dustin Poirier. And he beat another champion. I forget the guy's name off the top of my head. But he beat a guy that was champion for like 5 years in a row in 13 seconds. Then he beats
Jose Aldo.
Jose Aldo. Then Dustin Poirier. What's the kid from Hawaii?
Who?
There's a kid from Hawaii who he beat also as well with the torn ACL and eventually becomes a champion and beats Jose Aldo a few times as well. Well, and then Eddie Alvarez. Basically, he went through like 4 different people that are all champs right now, or except for Jose Aldo, they're not champs anymore. But if people think that Conor McGregor was just a flash in the pan, you're sadly mistaken. When you see people like Dustin Poirier about to go, he's an interim champ right now. He's about to go fight.
Oh, you're talking about Max Holloway.
Max Holloway, right?
Yeah.
So he's about to go fight Khabib, and I don't think that he's gonna beat Khabib. But when you look at the line of the lineage of what Conor McGregor has fought through and he's fought the best of the best. A best of the best, and then
I just think Khabib's been out for a long time, and he just seems so aggressively cocky.
right.
And I think his demeanor before Conor is completely changed after Conor. And I just think that he just seems like he's just shooting away this match. And I just think when we've seen this in history, I'm not saying if Khabib loses that he is less of a fighter than oh boy, but I'm saying like we know that we've seen a lot of really good fighters lose to people they shouldn't lose.
Yeah, but the problem with Khabib is like he really doesn't stand and fight. For what he did for in the Conor McGregor fight, that was not vintage or even regular of what Khabib does. That was just that one time, and he caught Conor McGregor because Conor McGregor was never scared of his punches because he didn't think that Khabib was ever going to punch him. And that's the thing. Like, you get somebody that's a puncher and a boxer, and you put him in a ring with Khabib. It's just there's no punching really. It's all wrestling, and then it's mauling on top of that. Like, his ground and pound is some of the worst I've ever seen. And I'm talking about watching world-class wrestlers, Olympic wrestlers, get on top of people and just like smash their fist into the guy's head or face and making them quit like that. No, Khabib moves in a way that strangles you, stifles you, and just takes your will away. I mean, and I've seen it done to so many people who are world-class strikers, world-class boxers, and look, he did it to Conor McGregor too. And I just pointed out how many champions Conor McGregor went through. I just, when I look at it,
I'm sorry, but I just feel like Khabib went in there with the mindset of wanting to kill
oh yeah, 100%, yeah,
Conor McGregor. Because
But-
so I just think that's why this is, and we can talk about this. I think that it's ridiculous that Khabib says that he is not ever going to give Conor McGregor another fight because he hasn't won anything. Based off of what you're saying, I personally, that makes me just wonder if Khabib thinks he can beat him a second time. Because if you're so confident, why not fight him again? Why not be hyping this fight? Because this might be your biggest payday.
yeah, but I think that he knows he holds the cards. Like, if it's up to him, then yeah, he'll fight him again. But that's if he wants it. Now, he's not going to give in to Conor McGregor just because, that's his biggest money draw.
But doesn't every champion get a rematch?
Yeah, but he wasn't a champ. Conor McGregor wasn't a champ at the time. So I mean, like, I get what you're saying, but
He never lost a belt. It was taken away because he left to go box.
Yeah, he didn't fight.
So, like I say, so technically he was still a champion.
It was a championship fight though. But
I'm saying, man.
we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I just want to talk about it real quick. I know we skipped over it. I guess we just totally forgot about it. It was UFC 241. You know, the big flagship.
Right.
One before this, where Stipe took down DC.
Right.
Stripped him of the heavyweight belt, and then Nate Diaz with the return after 3 years, taking out Anthony Pettis.
You know,
Man.
you were at. We had this conversation a while back with, we got talking about fighter pay and why do fighters fight and what's their motivation and what kind of sport it is. Nate Diaz for you, Chris, I think is somebody that you would actually appreciate their genuine love for not the sport, but the martial art of it. And being somebody that wants to test his will and strength and skill against another world-class athlete in that same genre. And for what Nate, you were pointing out that Nurmagomedov Khabib hadn't been in the game for forever. Nate is double that, and Nate fights and picks his fights not based on championship, not based on anything like money wise, because he knows regardless of if he fights or not, he's gonna get his money, right? Nate fights because that's the baddest motherfucker in the UFC right now. That's who I want to test my will against. That's who I want to test my skill against. And really, he literally says, like, that's the reason he fought. Excuse me, what's the guy's name? The
Anthony Pettis.
Anthony Pettis. Then right after the fight, he said he wants to fight that guy that knocked out Jorge Masvidal, that knocked out that wrestler in like 0.2 seconds, because he said that's the next badass motherfucker who's real. And it's not about putting on a show. He's not trying to put on a show and be fake and sell tickets. He's like, no, this is a real sport to me. And so I think looking at it from that perspective, that point of view, you would really appreciate somebody that takes it
I
as
think
such.
I think the Diaz brothers' story is amazing altogether. Those guys, and this is where it's so hard for me to be as big as UFC fan as you guys are. I just feel like the way they did Nate Diaz specifically, why they haven't given him and promoted him like they should, I think is just honestly a sad story. Like Nate Diaz should be way bigger name and have way more money coming his way for not just for that, but what he does and he is, to me, he has charisma. I like the way he approaches the fights, and before there's a Conor McGregor, he was a bad boy. So like I just feel like I don't know, man. I just feel like that his story should be way more telling than what it's been in his career.
Right. No, both of them, Nick and Nate Diaz. Nick is taking the biggest bullet between the two because they suspended him for like a year or two for weed, for essentially finding enough THC in his body that said he fought high.
But
Think about that.
Yeah, but Silva
he fought and won.
Yeah, but Silva got got tested positive for fucking PEDs or whatever. So.
Exactly.
Yeah, dick pills.
Oh, dick pills?
Yeah, he said he got it when he was.
No, he lying. Yeah, but then look, how many times has Jones gotten a chance to come back and basically, you know what I mean? Like that's what I'm saying, man. Like if those guys are just smoking weed because this is how they relax or deal with their stress, and from all accounts, it seems like they've had a pretty rough life in their lives. I mean, there's other people out there juicing just to win.
Yeah.
I mean, you got
100%,
Conor
man.
McGregor there punching old people in the bar, and he's probably gonna get a fight again. Just saying.
No, I get it. No, for sure. Anything else, Chris?
I think we got an announcement today. I think.
Oh yeah, Qua. Man,
got a big
what happened
announcement.
today? What?
What we talked about before we got here, man?
What happened?
What are we? Okay, what?
Ladies and gentlemen,
what platform?
You are
on
now looking at? Oh.
we in iTunes, baby.
Yeah, finally, man. Jesus, it's been a little by little.
It's one episode now. I'm working to get the rest of them on.
Yeah, so check us out on iTunes. However you guys listen to us, let your friends know. Let everybody know. I've already thrown out a mass little message to everybody. Sign up on iTunes. Subscribe. We're just gonna keep doing it.
We'll be on Spotify soon.
Yeah.
And then pay-per-view.
Bigger and better, stronger and faster every day.
And we hope to not only
we'll be in Disney Plus next year.
We'll be Disney Plus. Not only are we hoping that we continue to grow in doing this show outside of my home and taking into places like the car to the dance studio or even at a barbershop or a restaurant. But we hope to have better interviews instead of the interview we had today with that piece of shit.
El Chico Malo, thank you for gracing us. Gracing the mic.
I hope we didn't use any of our budget to have him come in, because if so, that's a waste of money.
What budget?
I
What budget?
give up a few things, man.
What budget?
What budget?
Yeah, the budget we don't have. All right, so but anyways, again, I just want to say thank you for everyone who watches and subscribes and likes and even comments. It means a lot, and it's hard to be on this type of platform because you're putting yourself out there to be criticized, and luckily I have thick skin. But the point being is that we just appreciate everyone tuning in, and most importantly, I just want to say, Qua, always as usual, man. I mean, thank you, man. You always come through. We really appreciate you.
Appreciate you, man. Yeah, man. Qua's the one doing the behind the scenes work and getting us every day recorded and pushing us to bigger and better platforms, and we're growing and growing because of him, and because of you guys. So. We're gonna keep doing this, man. It's been a blast. It's been so much fun. So, man, I don't know what else to say, but thank you. All right, guys, we are out. Appreciate you. Peace.
Yeah.
Peace.